Alrighty, so today I'm going to be drawing a fish with a Uniball 207 pen, which I am quite excited to do. I'm going to be drawing in my Soho Urban Artist sketchbook in today's video, and I do think without further ado, let's go ahead and get the sketchbook all opened up. Let's go ahead and get to a blank page, and then after that, let's go ahead and draw a fish with this pen right here. Now, I will admit, the Uniball 207 is definitely not the best pen to draw with. It's definitely not. It's not really meant for drawing. It's meant for writing with. So it makes sense why it's not really the best pen to draw with. But I do kind of like the look of the pen nonetheless. I do kind of like the pen look of the pen nonetheless. I don't think it's a pen I'd buy again, but it's not a pen I mind using because I already have it, that is for sure. I do think without further ado, though, let's go ahead and get right to drawing the fish. I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with the mouth, just like that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just going to go ahead and bring it all the way back. And one of the issues with this pen is that it's not very good at going at an angle kind of thing. It's definitely not meant for drawing. It is meant for writing straight up and down when you're just writing and everything like that kind of thing. It is definitely not meant for drawing, but it's certainly not the worst for drawing either, that is for sure. But we can just see the line when I'm drawing straight up and down is just so much better than when I'm trying to go at an angle. At an angle, it kind of just doesn't look as good anymore or anything like that kind of thing. But I mean, like, hey, that is what it is. This is just not what this pen is really meant to do, in all honesty. Let's just go ahead and bring that tail down. I'm not the happiest with this fish, but I'm also certainly not the least happy with how this fish is turning out so far either. I definitely do think it's not my greatest fish ever, but honestly, the issues I have with it, excuse me, the issues I have with this fish kind of honestly make it look a little bit more interesting. Like, what I don't like about this fish so far is how steep the top of the fish is right here. I don't really like how steep that is. It goes from kind of being at a almost straight angle, just all the way straight down kind of thing. 90-degree angle right there, whereas this is much more smooth. I really do like the bottom of the fish more, but I do feel like this gives the fish a kind of interesting look, so I don't really mind it all that much. Let's go ahead and draw an eye real quick. And let's go and draw another eye, and let's go ahead and start with the teeth. I do think I might do another layer on this fish right here. I'm just not really liking how the line is coming through. It is bolder than not, don't get me wrong, but there are areas of it which are not bold just simply because this pen is really not meant to be drawn with. And so a lot of the areas that are not bold are either right when I started drawing, or it's areas where I was really holding the pen at an angle and everything like that kind of thing. But it is still definitely is looking better than not, that is for sure. And there's just all the fins that I wanted to put on the fish as well. And yeah, no, I do think I'm going to do a second layer, I will admit. Now, one thing I do like about this pen is that it is weighted pretty well. It's weighted towards the bottom of the pen. This metal tip right here is definitely pretty good at giving you a little bit of weight for the pen and everything like that. So it is definitely one of the better weighted pens. I do really like that, I ain't gonna lie. But it is still a very light pen. This is meant to be a disposable pen after all, so it is definitely lighter than not. But when compared to a pen like, let's say, the Sharpie S Gel, it's definitely weighted a little bit differently, I ain't gonna lie. Like the Sharpie S Gel, I would have to say has a more even weight distribution to it, whereas this is more towards the front of it, which of course is better for writing, which is what this pen is meant to do. But let's go ahead and start with the, let's go ahead and start on the second layer that I'm gonna be doing on this fish right here. I'm just gonna be making a lot of lines really bold, just kind of giving it sort of a sketchy look kind of thing. That's kind of what I want to go for this fish. That is kind of the plan, just a little bit sloppy kind of thing. Don't really care about making the lines really line up super well kind of thing. I just want them to be a lot deeper, a lot darker, and I want to kind of give them a little bit of a sketchy look, and I do feel like I'm achieving that so far. Let's go ahead and do the tail. One thing about this pen, does it really smear much? No, it doesn't really smear much. I haven't used this pen in a while, I will admit. And I think that's one of the things I really liked about this pen when I was using it more consistently earlier on in the year, because I was using this pen a decent amount earlier on in the year, if I do remember correctly. But I think that's one of the things I liked about this pen, is that it doesn't smear very much. So it is really good for drawing in that way, where if you want to draw and you don't want to have to worry about smearing or anything like that kind of thing, like if you like to put your hand all over what you've already drawn and you don't like to wait for the ink to dry, you're an impatient person like me kind of thing, this pen could definitely be a good go-to, as it doesn't really smear much. But there are also different pens that are better for drawing and don't smear to the same extent, and smear either less or don't smear to the same extent, I will admit. For example, the Sharpie S Gel pen. The Sharpie S Gel does not smear pretty much almost at all. The ink dries almost instantly, which is really nice. And I would have to say the Sharpie S Gel is better for drawing as well, but I do have my issues with that pen too. I'm just going to go ahead and start darkening up some of the sort of corners and everything like that now. Excuse me, and I do think without further ado, it is now time for me to go ahead and start working on the eyes. Just like I did. And now let's go ahead and work on the teeth as well. I'd have to say for drawing, this is really where this pen excels. Doing a second layer, a more sketchy layer kind of thing. That's really where this pen excels. Some of my favorite pens to draw with, which give you really bold lines right at the beginning kind of thing. It's so bold that kind of doing a sketchy look like this can be a bit overwhelming. But this pen is really good at doing the whole sort of sketchy look and everything like that kind of thing. So if that's a look that you want, honestly, I really do think this pen is pretty good for it. And there we go. I think that's pretty much what I want to do. I'm just going to go ahead and line that up a little bit, make that a little bit darker on that side. There we go. Make this a little bit darker right here. There we go, and I'm thinking that is the fish all done. I'm thinking that's the fish all done. Well, that was the fish that I drew with a Uniball 207 pen. I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. Of course, if you guys have any constructive criticism for the fish that I drew in today's video, or for this video in general, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. And of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my main channel all in the description down below. Go check it all out. But thank you very much for watching this video where I drew a fish with a Uniball 207 pen. Until the next one, y'all, stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?